Hi guys, welcome to the UX course. Now we are at module 5, chapter 3, session 3, and let's see what we are going to learn in this. So we are going to learn best way to present your design to clients or to your managers. So we are going to learn the best strategies, how to show the prototype through Figma, and what are the best prototype practices you can utilize to do this. And let's go and dive into it. So before we dive into it, let's do a quick recap. So in chapter 5.2, what we learned? We learned about a smart animation and how it can basically help you do a smart animation wherein you can move between screens and you can animate any object, whether you have to scale it, whether you have to change the color, whether you have to change the angle of it, whether you have to change the position of it, all through different click methods or by pressing or by hover. So all is interactive. Okay, now let's go ahead and deep dive into our current chapter, which is 5.3, best practices for prototyping. UI will go ahead and go into learning first. Okay, all right. I know we did the basic of prototyping, but there are few more things you need to understand in terms of, let's say, if you have a larger project which has, let's say, 10, 15, 14 modules, you cannot connect everything together. So you might have to come up with a strategy that every module have different interaction and prototype. So here, if you see, I have two module, prototype basic, and then I have prototyping basic, but let's say this is smart animation. So these are two different prototyping. Let's say these are two different modules altogether, which is fine, and you have to learn how to showcase both of them one after another, and you don't have to get messed up. You have to get organized to showcase them better. So the way to do is first to create that structure. So if you go to prototyping, you would see that learning and SRC, which is smart animation, and scale, rotation, and color. I have basically set these flow starting point. So these are flow starting point. Flow starting point means for this specific module, where will the flow start? So if I say flow will start here, whenever I go to the prototyping mode, this is the first screen it will land to. And if I am into SRC, this is the first screen. Screen one will be visible in the beginning. But if this is my first flow, so let's say this is my first flow and this is my second flow within the same prototyping itself. So you are able to see in the flow I have learning and I have SRC. I can switch them. I can put SRC first, then I can put learning in the bottom, and then I can also switch it back, and I can find the position where is it, and I can also find the link where is it, copy the link, and I can also share the same link with client or project manager, or I can also just go ahead and present it from here in the specific mobile app. So I have clicked on SRC, so wherein I'm doing the prototyping for this, and then I can go back and click on learning. So as soon as I click on learning, I would get the prototyping here, and wherein then I can play this. then I can keep playing this and I can keep moving around it. So apart from this, this is more of a, let's say, presenting it while editing, but there is another way to do it. So what you can do is you can directly go into, this will take you to a next tab itself. So let's close the old tab, and let's say you have the open file in editing mode, and you can go ahead and play it, not the preview version, but the present version. So if you click the present version, it will open a new tab within Figma itself, which will show you all the different flows you have created within this file itself. So I have learning, and then I have SRC, which are, I would say, these are two different modules. So learning, I can go ahead and then I can showcase the entire flow, and then I can go to SRC and I can show the entire flow. Now, uh, you can change if you want it to be responsive or if you want it to be fixed position. So let's say I want it to be responsive. So as soon as I clicked on responsive, it went into, let's say, a complete mode wherein now the black part is not visible. Let's go ahead and see if everything is working nice. Not, there is no problem. SRC, no matter what screen it is, it goes back to, let's say, fixed size. So I have a fixed size, but this screen you would see is a different frame. So that is why you are able to see the black space which is left out. So you can certainly go ahead and you can choose the best option, which is responsive, and then you can make, you can see, you can enable Figma shortcuts, and you can also hide the UI. So whatever you see, like comment, close sidebar, these descriptions. So you can also put a description for each of the module you have created, and you can also share the prototype from here. To share the prototype, you can either share it with, you can allow everyone to view it, or you can specify email IDs with separated with comma, and the link of this prototype will be sent to that specific person. Let's say if you are working in a team, I'm working in this specific team, and everybody in the team would have access to this prototyping. You can decide if they would want to have editing access or if they would want to have just the view access, or you can directly copy the link and send it to them. Send it to your client, send it to your project manager. You can change, and you can also have an option um, to have password a password protection, wherein you would apply a password, and anyone who knows the password will only be able to review the have the access. You can generate the password, or you can create your own password as well. You can copy the password and you can send it to this respective client or respective project manager who would like to view the file. So this is how you can completely present your design. Let's add some description here to see how it works. So let's see. I'm not sure. Okay. So I'm in this specific file and I can add a description. This this module covers has basic prototyping learning skill, and for this I can add, this module shows how smart animation works. Now let's go back to the view page and let's see if the description is coming well. So description is coming well, and this gives the client better visibility in terms of what you call, they can see the information on, they can also see what the module is. And next, if you are a manager, you can start with comment. You can comment on each change you would like to have. So let's say I want this button to be blue, and you can add the person you would want to share it with or tag it with. You can also add an image. You can also use an emoji, and you can also change the devices directly from here if you want it to be presented to a different device. All right. So let's go ahead and learn some basic uh, fundamental of prototyping, which is required and which you should always think about. So let's go ahead and do some important and basic understanding of how your pop-up or anything should navigate in when you're designing in Figma or when you are prototyping in Figma. What should be the direction of objects which is coming on your screen? So let's go ahead and understand that. All right. So what we'll do is we will create another set of screens. Let's duplicate this and remove this entire animation. Let's delete all of these, and then let's also delete this. So one of the things I think that has not come into the chapter is um, have how to have a pop-up coming into your screen. The pop-up can come from different actions. Some pop-ups can be automated, but some pop-ups can come from action. So let's say if you submit something, so let's bring in a button, and let's say payment, submit payment. I've submitted a payment, and I should get a prompt pop-up. Let's say I should get this. I should get a prompt pop-up with this frame. Let's have this frame a name, confirmation. So where should confirmation come from? Let's give it some color so it is highly recognizable. And so let's say let's give it some radius. So if there is, so there are three direction or maybe four direction the pop-ups can come from. If it's a prompt pop-up which is delayed, or something, you're getting it more like a notification, it should come from top. But if you have taken an action, it should always come from bottom. So let's say I'm taking an action here, where the pop-up should come from. So we are going to learn uh, overlay within Figma. So let's do an overlay. Let's go to prototyping and understand overlay. So this button should attach to this, and then we need to on tab, instead of navigate, it should have open overlay, and it should be manual. So instead of center, let's do, you can do center as well. Center doesn't matter. Close, and let's have a background. So we can give it a nice background. Let's see it how it looks. So right now it's coming from left side, but instead of coming from left side, it should always come from bottom whenever you're taking an action. So let's change that. So you can see either you can apply smart animation for especially for pop-ups. Smart animation does not work. You have to apply uh, either instant or move in animation. So for move in, you have four direction, either from left, either from right, either from left, either from top, either from bottom. So let's do a bottom here and let's see how it looks. So whenever you take an action, a pop-up should appear from bottom itself. So here also the accessibility matters and user behavior matters. So users know where these pop-ups come from and where these pop-ups are easily accessible. And so if you are choosing, let's go ahead and if you are doing some kind of confirmation, so let's duplicate this and let's change it to okay. So if you are moving next and you are inside a pop-up itself, but you are moving into next part of this specific pop-up. So there are two pop-ups, let's say 1 and 2 basically. Let's make it center. Let's add a curve and let's add this to here as well. Close this and here. Okay. So now you have two pop-up. Let's call it 1 and this is 2. Now let's go back to our original pop-up. Okay. So let's say I have a and let's connect these two. So from these, this should move to 2 and after I should have one more thing. Let's say let's add one more part to it. Let's add a small circle here as well and here as well. All right. So this will move to this, but with swap. So let's go ahead and not navigate, but it will be a swap overlay. So what does swap overlay does is it changes the pop-up itself being on the same screen. So it should always come from right, but if you are going to a previous action, it should come from left. So now it should come from right, and let's go ahead and add few more items here. This should always have on tap. Okay, whether it's a part of it or not. Let me see. On tap, this should close overlay. So this should close the pop-up itself. Uh, on tap, this should close the overlay. All right, let's go ahead and test it out. So you are here. The pop-up came from down because you took an action. You clicked here, it went on next and it swapped the pop-up. But if you click on previous, this should come from left side. But let's say anywhere you are and if you close on this, the pop-up should go back. So that's how you can the very basic of understanding of where the interaction move, how should the prototype work, should be understood really well to establish a better interaction. This also helps the programmers do a better job when they are creating this product. All right. So let's say if we don't do anything, a notification want to appears. Let's change this color, a notification appears, and let's go to prototype and change this, and there are n number of notification within. So let's have this. Let's add an auto layout to it, layers, and let's add more. Let's move this to top. Let's remove one of the item. It looks too many items right now. Let's move this to center. All right. So let's imagine this is a notification. We can have this warnings. Warnings are basically notification. Where how does the notification come in? Notification comes automatically or by some delay, not always by uh, having an action. So let's put this on a delay. The whole page should have a notification, not on tab, but after a delay of let's say 500 milliseconds. A notification should appear from top itself. Instead of navigation, it will be an open overlay. All right, let's go ahead and test it out. So after 500 milliseconds, the notification popped out from top itself. So you have to understand what comes from top, what comes from left, what comes from right, and what actually comes from bottom. So these 3 to 4 parameters have to be really understood to be able to give user certain behavior freedom, and this also helps the user uh, go through the right process, and there is no problem accessing the application. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have to learn next. So in module 5.4, we are going to learn responsive UI and device preview. So let's imagine if this application was also made for iPad, how will it look like? And also, like, how do you automatically change from mobile to um, uh, iPad or tablets without changing a lot in terms of element? Thank you. See you in the next chapter.